Okay, this is 10.1 part 2. So 10.1 part 2. And we're looking at other percent problems. So before we do, we need to recognize some words and how to translate them into mathematical symbols. The first one is is. Is an equal sign. Of means multiplication. So we're going to multiply numbers together. And what means the unknown. So if we don't know the unknown, we have to use a variable to represent it. And usually we use world famous X or N or whatever you want to use. Okay, so let's look at the first example and apply these words and translate them into mathematical symbols to solve a percent problem. So the first one says, what is 15% of $45.71? So what is the unknown? So I'm going to let that equal X. Is means equal sign. 15%, remember that we cannot use percent in the equation, so we have to change it to a decimal. So I'm going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. So it's 0.15. Of means multiply $45.71. So what I'm going to do on my calculator is take 0.15 times $45.71, and when I do that, I get 6.8565. Remember, we're talking about money. So I told you to look at the third place value after the decimal point and figure out if you have to leave the digit in the hundredths place alone or round up. Since it's a 6, I'm going to have to round up. So my answer, because it's money, is 6.86. All right, so let's check out the next one. The next one says 25 is what percent of 80? So I write down 25 is means equals. What percent is X? And then 80. Okay? Because multiplication is commutative, I'm going to go ahead and rearrange this. So it says 25 equals 80X. Now I have to get X by itself. So since 80 is multiplied by X, I have to use the opposite operation, which is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 80. And when I do that, I get 25 divided by 80, which is 0.3125, and that equals X. Now remember, the question says what percent. So I have a decimal, so I have to change this decimal to a percent. So I'm going to have to move the decimal 2 places to the right and add on a percent sign. So the answer to this is 31.25%. Make sure you read the problem after you solve it to make sure you're answering it correctly. All right, last one. 22% of 45 is what value? So once again, I cannot use a percent. I got to change this to a decimal. So I'm going to take the decimal place and move it 2 places to the left. So I get 0.22. Of means multiply. So I multiply times 45. Is means equals. And what value is X? So in my calculator, I take 0.22 times 45, and I find out that X equals 9.9. Okay, I know some of you have learned to use proportions, and you set up 2 ratios to make a proportion to solve it. So if you're getting the answers right doing that, that's fine. I'm not against that, but I'm just showing you the way that I learned how to do them. So the next page says, what is 15% tip on a restaurant bill of $45.71? This is practical application. So now we can figure out how to do this. So what is X? So what is X? I don't know why this is doing this. So what is X? Is means equals. Having a little bit of hard time here, guys. Sorry about that. 15%. Remember, we're going to have to change that to decimals. So we're going to take and swing the decimal place 2 places to the left. On a restaurant bill, of means multiply $45.71. So let me just go over that because I know the screen is jumping around. So what is X? Is means equals. 15% we can't use, so we have to change that to a decimal. So it's 0.15 of $45.71. So when I multiply this together, I get 0.15 times $45.71, and I get 6.8565. Remember, we're talking about money. So if I look at the third decimal place after the decimal, I see it's a 6. I'm going to have to round up because that's larger than 5. So the answer is 6.86. So the tip, if you wanted to leave the waiter or waitress any money, would be $6.86. That's a 15% tip. Okay, the next two examples, we have to translate these into what of is problems. So the formula to do this is something is what percent of the original cost. So this is a little formula we're going to use when doing the last two examples in this section. Okay, so something is what percent of the original cost. Okay, so it says if the price of a laptop is reduced by 35% or $341.25, what is the original price of the laptop? Okay, so what do we have here? $341.25 is our something. Is means equals. What percent is 35% of the original cost? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so I set up my equation in terms of words. So now I get 341.25 equals, once again, I cannot use percent, have to change it to decimal. This becomes 0.35 of the original price, which we don't know, which is x. So once again, I got to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide it off. So 341.25 divided by 0.35 equals 0.35 divided by 0.35x. And when I do this, I take 341.25 divided by 0.35 in my calculator, and I get that x equals $975. So to check my answer, I would take 35% of $975, so multiply 0.35 times 975, make sure that comes out to be 341.25. And it does. So last problem, guys. After a 20% reduction in price, a smartphone sold for $750. What was the original price of the smartphone? So once again, we're going to use the little formula, something is what percent of the original cost. Okay, so the something is $750. Is means equals. Before I put in the 20%, 750 is actually not 20% of the original price. It said that there is a 20% reduction in price. So that means that I'm paying 80% of the price, or of the original price for the smartphone. And I got 80% by taking 100% minus 20. So what percent is actually 80%? Change that to decimal, it's 0.80. Of means multiply. The original cost we don't know, so that's world famous x. So once again, if I want to get x by itself, I'm going to take and divide both sides by 0.80. So I got 750 divided 0.80. If you pop that into your calculator, you're going to get that x equals $937.50. And that is the original cost of the smartphone. So once again, how do I check that? I'm going to multiply 937.50 times 80%, and I should get 750. All right, and that is the end of section 10.1.